It is dangerous to believe that it is in any way, shape, or form fat-phobic to save your own life. Licensed therapist and self-proclaimed self-help practitioner Ian Shantis claims that self-choice weight loss of your own free will, is fat-phobic.
Let's break this one down. So, intentional weight loss, so you purposely saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, is fat-phobic. And you might be like, what? Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to be fat-phobic, but you are. You're being fat-phobic to yourself. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? It's probably to fit into something smaller. It's probably so people treat you better. It's probably for all the reasons that fat folks are shamed simply for being fat. So by continuing to perpetuate that, right, seeking intentional weight loss, we are contributing to our fat-phobic society. So that's why intentional weight loss is fat-phobic.
So with that video being seen, isn't it been weird? For those of you who were born, like I'm young. I was born in 2001. I'm not old, not in my mid-20s, I'm in my early 20s. But even as a little kid, things were never this politically correct. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on the Boondocks, Robot Chicken, the last few vestiges of non-political correctness in America, right? And non-foolishness. You could be blunt, you could be honest, you could be straightforward about reality, and you were going to be considered an asshole. Now in today's day and age, if you tell the blunt, honest truth, you're the bad guy. I mean, look at what's happening with Kevin Samuels right now. I mean, they're tearing him to pieces on Twitter simply because he had the audacity to be blunt and honest with both men and women. So this woman is claiming that to participate in weight loss, to participate in the movement, because nowadays more and more people are getting fit and getting in the gym and watching their health. There's so much information out here that so many people are getting fit, myself included. I've lost a lot of weight. I went from 215 pounds during the COVID pandemic. I'm 164 pounds now. Not as big as I used to be. She's claiming that people who choose to go down that route have participated in the social standard of fat phobia. She's almost likening fat phobia to colorism. She's almost likening fat phobia to racism, as if fat phobia is truly a thing in society, as if being fat is like being stripped of your civil rights. Now, of course, there are some disadvantages that come with being fat. People might not take you seriously. People might pass you up for a promotion, a job opportunity, whatever the case might be. People might judge how you eat, what you eat, how often you eat. There are a lot of downsides to being fat and overweight. But there is no more downside, more serious and serious as a heart attack than a heart attack. Being overweight, being obese is by no means in any way, shape, or form something that is akin to someone making fun of your face fat, someone making fun of your hip fat, someone making fun of your back fat. As annoying as those things might be, someone calling you chubby, Pillsbury Doughboy, whatever the case might be. The actual health issues that come from being overweight and fat completely overcome and override any sort of teasing or name calling or discomfort or lack of self-esteem that you might accrue from being overweight. And that is the part that we don't talk about. The left went from being the group that made fun of conservatives for believing that God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, are now the same group that's saying that there are no health downsides to being overweight, and that one can be 20 to 30 to 40 pounds overweight and still somehow be healthy. The narrative that one can be healthy while simultaneously being 30 to 40 to 50 pounds overweight is untrue. Not having an illness at that particular point in time of being 30 to 40 to 50 pounds overweight does not mean that you are healthy. Your bones are under the pressure of that fat. Your arteries, your organs, every part of your body is quickening in its destruction, quickening in its decomposition because it is being pressured by all of this fat. It is slowly killing you. And no amount of politically correct science can disprove this fact. It is an indisputable, undisputable, however you say it, fact that you cannot be extremely overweight and simultaneously healthy. There is a reason why people the size of Lizzo and others don't make it to 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 and on. They don't make it because the human body cannot sustain that level of fat on it for so long that you can live into the years of seeing your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, maybe even your great-great-grandchildren. Mitt Romney has 25 grandchildren. He might live long enough to see them all grow up. Why will he be able to see them all grow up? The dude's in shape as far as we can tell. Slim, fit, in shape. The dude really might live to see the next generation. That's something that we should all aspire to be able to lay down the seeds of a family and be able to see some of the tiniest trees grow after some of the biggest ones have already grown. To see the next and next and next generation. How can you see that? How can you see the fruit of your labor come to bear when you've died an unnecessary early death because of a lack of proper health? This is an avoidable thing. We're not talking about cancer. We're not talking about, all other forms of random diseases that people are struck down by. We're talking about something that one can truly take control of and fix. There was nothing fat-phobic about choosing to lose weight. There are health issues that can take your life from you at an early age by choosing to persist in obesity. It is an undeniable, indisputable fact. And the left is trying to convince people that it's not true. How did the left go from the group that we trusted with science to the group that has completely warped science to its every convenience? At one point, it was silly to believe that the earth was made in 6 days. I'm no Christian, I'm no believer, but I still want to point out the hypocrisy here. It was silly and foolish to believe that the earth was made in 6 days. But now it's sensible to believe that there are multiple genders. Now it's sensible to believe that there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 genders. Now it's sensible and scientific to believe that one can be 30 to 40 to 50 pounds overweight and still be healthy. No amount of good food is worth dying a young death. And this is me speaking as someone who was 40 pounds overweight. I was overweight to a degree that it could have killed me if I didn't take control of my life and my body. I'm talking 40 pounds overweight at 18, 19 years old. 19 years old. 40 pounds overweight. The healthy weight for 5'9" is about 164 pounds. I was at 215. 215 in 2020 during the pandemic, during lockdown. I was over 40 pounds overweight. If I didn't take control of myself, it would have spiraled even deeper as time went on. And I'm just beginning life at 21. Now imagine 31, 41, 51, how heavy I would have been, how big I would have been, how hard it would be to overcome that weight. It is not fat-phobic. This is literally not a debate. This is by no means any way, shape, or form a debate. It is not fat-phobic to save your own life. Point blank, period. How this even became a discussion, it boggles my mind. How this is even entertained in spheres in which one is a licensed therapist is beyond me. Imagine coming to your therapist and saying, "Hey, therapist, my weight, it's racking at me. It makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel ugly. It makes me feel XYZ." A therapist isn't necessarily obligated to give you proper health advice, but I would hope that my therapist wouldn't encourage me to continue to kill myself. Because that's what happens when you sit there and believe that it's fat-phobic and wrong to want to better yourself. It is delusional to believe that you deserve to have a partner who's fit and in shape, but you're fat. That partner, that woman or that guy that you're so attracted to, they go to the gym. They keep themselves fit. They eat foods that they may not necessarily want to eat so they can look good and feel good. But you think you deserve that partner in spite of your lack of a desire to make the same sacrifice? You're delusional. The people you see walking around who don't get made fun of for being fat, They probably put down certain foods and put down certain portions so they can maintain a size that isn't going to warrant them being made fun of or being treated unfairly for being fat. Now, I'm not excusing, I'm not victim blaming, but I need people to understand that being fat, regardless of what insults or social disadvantages come with it, it's not worth the health risks. It is good to feel good. It is good to look in the mirror and say, I like what I see. It is good to look in the mirror and say, I know other people like what they see. There's nothing wrong with that. We as a society need to toughen up around the edges. By no means am I for disrespect or name calling or any of the sort. But what I am saying is that we have to toughen up again. We're getting way too soft here, to the point where a licensed therapist, somebody who is in charge of people's minds, their minds, people, they're in charge of the minds of people who are dealing with serious issues. She's coming out and saying that this is fat-phobic to want to lose weight. This is unacceptable, and it is absolutely insane.